guys? It's Full Stack Bro here, coming at you with another video. Today's video is going to be about, are web tutorials really enough to get a job in tech? The answer to that is no. It's not easy. The best way to get a job in tech, and here's why. So pretty much when you're doing a web tutorial, even though they're all fine, they're all great, you could do as many tutorials as you want. You could look up so many different tutorials and spend hours walking through with someone else on how to build an application to the bare minimum, and then add that to your portfolio. So if you already have like a GitHub account, right, you could upload projects to your GitHub account. You could also, if you have a portfolio website that has links to these projects and they're out there in the web, that's even better. So you have all that stuff on your portfolio, you have that on your resume. Hiring manager will look at that and see like what your understanding is on programming, right? Is it something that they're looking for in terms of if you're applying for front end, you're applying for back end, all these different things, right? So then you get that call for an interview and you initially do well, everything's all good on the phone interview, and then they ask you questions on your projects or like your experience alone, and you can't answer that. That's going to be a major problem, right? Because you just spent a lot of time working on those tutorials, adding into your portfolio so that it looks all nice, but at the end of the day, you didn't understand what you built. Based off of what that person has provided in this tutorial, yes, is a clone of another app that's already out there. Even though you went through many hours building it, that doesn't necessarily mean that you understood why it's being built that way and how it's being built. Starting out, tutorials are very, very nice. Okay, I'm not saying that they're bad. Like, everybody should do a tutorial or purchase a course. Learn as much as you can. But the biggest thing is, if you're self-taught and you want to jump into tech and you think tutorials are really going to get you in the door, it's not really. You really have to understand what you're building, because those questions will come up in the interviews, and if you freeze on that, that's it. It's done. If you don't have those key concepts down and you can't explain your code, if they're reviewing your code, you're not going to get the job. If you could figure out your full stack path and you're able to get in with like minimum experience, that's great. If you can't figure that out, you're going to have an issue. You should expand on the key concepts of that project and then do other things, like build other stuff in terms of functionality. Maybe you can incorporate another library to pull in like data from somewhere else. Maybe create like a fake server on one of your apps that allows you to store user information, a simple submit form or something like that. Because the biggest thing is following everything that person is doing in the tutorial, instead of like just looking at the scope of it, right? The scope of the project is, we're going to be building this app from start to finish. These are the components that we're going to be building out. Look at the roadmap first, right? And see if you can actually do it on your own. That's more valuable than spending hours looking at a tutorial thinking that, I know coding. Anybody could do that. That has no knowledge of coding could literally sit in front of a computer and follow someone going through a tutorial and put it on a resume. And it's going to show when you interview. That's my thoughts on tutorials. Definitely look into better ways to become better just based off of different projects. Start brainstorming new projects and building it on your own. You have to challenge yourself. You cannot just sit here and just do tutorials in the bare minimum, because it's not going to work. All right? Talk to you guys soon.